So, when I was first exposed to Young Life, it was through my best friend Bethany, who invited me to hang out with these weird adults who would pass out donuts walking around Red Mountain campus. And it was really weird for me because who does that? And I'm not very good at trusting people, so I couldn't help but suspect them of having ulterior motives. And after I would awkwardly hang out at the edge of the group and fend off their questions, I realized that they didn't have an ulterior motive. What they wanted to do was to get to know the kids, and they did that in the best way possible. They came to us. Bethany kept inviting me to Young Life for months after that, and because we hung out so much, I finally went with her. My first club was intense. There was a lot of loud music, a lot of people all over my space, and the leaders that I'd seen around campus handing out donuts were coming up to me and asking questions. But again, because I didn't really know them, I didn't really reply. But over the course of the year, I started going to Young Life more and more. And I even went to winter camp. I was really nervous about going because, I'm not really good with people. But I developed a friendship with the leaders, and that had led to me trusting them. And then that trust led to me having the best weekend of my life at winter camp. And that trust also led to me opening up to the leaders and opening up to the idea of going to summer camp. Now, summer camp costs roughly $650. And my plan was to fundraise all of it. Unfortunately, I only went to a couple fundraisers because I had to focus on school since school was ending soon. And when school finally ended, I realized that I didn't have that much and camp was only a week away. But Christy was amazing, and she committed to getting me to camp. And she was by my side the whole time and got me to camp. If you asked me this time last year if I believed in God, I would have said that if he existed, he didn't care. And that was based on some of the experiences that I've been through. Before I was born, my dad left my mom, and she had my brother Carter at the age of 4 with her boyfriend at the time. She left that boyfriend because it was a bad situation. And her current boyfriend doesn't really care about my brother and I. And it can make life really difficult sometimes. Needless to say, I haven't really had a father figure in my life. And that led to me becoming depressed. The only real stability in my life had been my grandma. She was a nurse, so she knew how to take care of people. She was amazing. When I would go to the hospital with her, I would see how much she would love on others and how much they loved her and respected her in return. During my freshman year, she was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease and then cancer. And she passed on 3 weeks after that. She had been the light in my darkness. And when she was gone, it engulfed me. During the worst of my depression, I contemplated suicide. And nobody even knew. Right. That was around the time when I had started going to Young Life. When I originally went to summer camp, I went there feeling angry, alone, and unloved. And thinking those things had worked so well for me because it allowed me to build walls around my heart to protect myself. The camp does a great job of breaking down those walls. And as soon as I got there, I felt loved and invited. So at camp, there's this ropes course that's built in the trees. And heights sort of terrify me. And while I was on it, I was forced to move when all I wanted to do was stay still and get back to the ground somehow. The only thing that really kept me going was my cabin. And when I reached the end, there was this this ledge that I learned I had to jump off of. I was up there for a while. Yeah. And I saw a verse that was up on one of the trees that said, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you." And that gave me the strength to jump. The rest of the camp, the speaker was talking about releasing control to Jesus. And I felt like he was speaking directly to me. My leader, Stephanie, would take me on dates where we would have conversations where she would help me process what I was learning about Jesus. And on one of the last nights of camp, the speaker walked out on the stage and the curtains opened behind him. And off to one side, there was this painting of a skull with a crown of thorns. And behind it was this huge chalkboard, from there to over there, with words of things that cause all the brokenness in our world. Things like lying, stealing, sex. And then the one word that broke through every single wall I had built around my heart: fathers. The speaker told us about how Jesus came into the world so he could fix our brokenness. And while he was talking, a guy came out up on the stage with paint cans and painted over the painting and made it a new image of Christ. One that was alive. And the speaker continued to say that when he died, our sins were washed clean. And as soon as he said that, a hose came on from above and washed the whole chalkboard clean. And then his daughter, who was really small and cute, walked out on the stage and faced the chalkboard with her back to her own father. And the speaker continued to say that no matter what happens, no matter how long you've turned from him, no matter what you've done, Christ will always be there whispering, "I love you." And it was at that moment that I realized that he'd been doing the exact same thing to me. He was there while my back was turned my whole life, whispering, "Chloe, I love you." And after the talk, everyone went outside in silence, and every single light at Lost Canyon had been turned off. And in those 15 minutes of silence, I took a leap of faith and decided that I wanted to follow Jesus. Now, my mom's still with her current boyfriend, and I don't have a physical father figure in my life. But what I do have is a group of leaders who continue to invest in my life, who I trust and who are only a phone call away. And I'm now a junior leader, which allows me to share Christ with my friends at school. And this summer, I'm going to be serving at Lost Canyon to help other kids have the best week of their lives, because I want them to know the real hero, and his name is Jesus.
While you're standing, I'm going to pray for her. I'm going to pray for her. Dear Father, we just